Welcome back to Jaeger Racing. Today we're going to be installing our Ford Performance catch cans. So one of the biggest things when you're going around the track and doing all these different things is you're putting the car into situations where you're pushing oil to one side or doing various different things and, highly stringing out the motor to 7,500 RPMs or so. So basically you're putting a lot of stress on a lot of different things. One of the things that generally happens is motors will push oil through PCV valves and into intakes and essentially start lowering the octane rating because now you're getting oil into your intake, into your airstream, so on and so forth. So what you try to do is you try to get it to where that oil, that vapor, is actually going to be caught in a catch can or something of that nature, like an Air Oil Separator, stuff like that, to allow the car just to take in what you want it to. Air. You want air, you want fuel, you want combustion, you want greatness. So overall, we're going to put these, which this is a passenger side, a driver side, because there's two valve covers on a V8. So you're going to put these into the 2015 Mustang. In theory, this should allow it to not gum up the intake manifold as much, not gum up the intake as much, throttle body as much, have better air-fuel ratio for longer periods of time. So you might ask, why did I go with a standard, more stock-looking Ford Performance? And that's the answer within the question, and that's because I want this to look as stock as possible. The entire goal of this is to keep it where I can drive it into basically anywhere and people can pop the hood and it's pretty much stock. I'm not trying to go for anything super fancy. I know they make a lot of options, a lot of different companies, but I'll be honest, a lot of the companies that are currently making this particular style of application for this car suck. If I was going to actually look for one that I wanted to put into my Ford Mustang, first of all, you want some sort of drain to go back into your oiling system, so you're not actually having to physically go in here and drain this on your own. Now, if you don't have the ability to have it go back into the actual engine itself, well, at least put something like a sight glass or a dipstick-ish type situation so you can actually measure how much oil is actually in it. That actually is a huge bonus to have. Obviously, this doesn't have it. Other ones on the market that I looked at didn't have it as well. So that's why I went with the Ford Performance, because it still keeps the OE look and it basically has the same functionality as all the rest of them. So why not just go with the Ford Performance units? So now I'm going to get into the installation, and since I have the Ford Performance Pack 2 package, which has a new intake from a 350 and throttle body from a 350, I ended up picking up the passenger side 350 one and the driver side standard one for a GT. So we're going to see if this actually works. I assume it will, because it makes sense based on what I saw in pictures and where this actually hung off of. But there wasn't any instructions, which is fine. There's a grand total of 2 hoses per, and we'll just figure it out. So let's get to installing these into the car, and then we'll go for a track day on Monday. So this unit here is supposed to go there somewhere, and this unit here, I believe, is supposed to go somewhere like there or something. So now all I have to do is figure out there are some things and install them. Alright, so it looks like driver's side's gonna be pretty easy in the fact that it pretty much goes kind of right where I want her. This looks like it's gonna go down there. I mean, it's semi good. So let's see what happens when I push this into there. I'll hold that. Give you one nut. So quick assumption means it goes there. Better be a 10. Alright. Okay. So they gave me two poppets, one large, I assume it goes there, and one other one. But overall, that will go right there, which more intrusion to where the dipstick is. Forward. Why is your dipstick in the worst place possible? I don't get it. So now, this new piece that I literally just installed, I get to take off and change out. I can't decide if I like this little like poppy design thing or not. Jesus. So assumption would be this hose goes there and this hose goes here. So snap that guy onto there. Snap that guy onto there, make sure it clicks. And boom boom, one catch canny Air Oil separator installed. So now we're going to move on to the passenger side, which this hose is routing underneath here. So got to take the old cover plate off. Bash your fingers at least once when you're working on a car, otherwise you're not really working on a car. Oh. Okay, so now you can see this hose routes down and into the intake manifold directly. So now what we're going to be doing is removing that. Which, no big deal. Now, you can kind of see that has a little bit of oil residue, from when, you know, this is working really hard and the oil pumps out of here and goes directly into your intake manifold, which not the greatest. So that's why we're going to put something in between it. So this hose, I believe, is meant to go here. Taking a wily Sam idea, this is meant to go here. That's not looking too promising, but we won't give up. I mean, it actually functions in a dual fashion, because I didn't like how this was resting on here. So it might be a little beneficial here. No way. Click, 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 kind of. Click. All right. So that is it. Air Oil separator or catch can. Air Oil separator, catch can. Now we don't have any oil going into our intake track. Yay. Now to fish the drill bit. Alright, installation is now complete. We now have complete separation between our oiling system and our air induction system, at least an acceptable amount. I will have to check and dump these on a regular, depending on how much oil is actually getting blown out of the valve covers into them. But that's a story for another day, and we'll move on. Next round of mods coming very shortly, and it should be very much suspension.